What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on recent reports that came out about the Joker, right? They say that this leg injury that the Joker has sustained is not as serious as they has expected, right? So that's good news, right? Not just for the Nuggets, man, just for basketball fans in general. Because if you've been watching the Joker, man, this season, and I really wasn't a big Joker fan until lately when I just started. People say, well, man, get this guy a chance. And watching this guy, the Joker, man, this guy really is just he just straps his team on his back. No, because no matter who goes out for the Nuggets, as long as you got the Joker there, man, they just keep like really just chugging right along. Like when Murray went out, it seemed like they didn't miss a beat. When what's the guy name? Gordon went out, they didn't miss a beat. As long as the Nuggets have this guy, Jokic, man, is like he put this like he put him on his back. So it's like I said, it's good news for the Nuggets and Nuggets fans that this guy is not really he's not going to miss as much time as they expected. His injury is not as serious as they expected. Now what the Nuggets need to do is they really just need to have like Jamal Murray and whoever's in there, like just kind of like hold the fort down until the Joker can get back, man. And then I'm hoping, because once they get into the playoffs, this guy, Joker, man, is the real deal. He's serious, right? So once they get into the playoffs, it's going to be exciting because you got OKC, you have the Spurs, you got the Nuggets. The West is just really going to, like, the West. That playoff in the playoffs in the West, man, is just going to be must-see TV for real. So I'm glad to see that this guy gonna be back, man. So I can see what he can do with OKC, what he can do with the Spurs, and whoever else try to make a run in the playoffs in the West. So this gonna be tough. So now with that being said, I was listening to Run It Back podcast with who was it? Run It Back with Lou Williams and Michelle Beadle, right? And they was talking about the Joker. Let me see if I can find that right here, because this is really good news, like I said, for the Spurs. Oh, here we go.
A lot of questions, so we got this.
Oh, okay, here we go. All right, come on with it.
We got this. I don't love how we're starting the show. However, there have come some positive bits of news from over the pond over there in Serbia. So Jokic last night has a leg injury. This is with a little bit of time left in the first half. It's a big deal. This is obviously a huge deal. It rocks the internet. They're at 22-10, third in the West, but it's Nikola Jokic. And for a lot of us, we don't want to see this dude ever get hurt. And it's very odd to see him in pain on the ground. Preliminary reports coming out of Serbia, which is crazy to say, is that they've avoided serious injury, that it looks more of like a hyperextension situation. It came out of Serbia, which I learned a lot. I went down a rabbit hole this morning, Lou. His representation still is all over there, so makes some sense. And the Eurobasket world is on top of this because he's their baby.
He called home to mama. Mama got the news first. She spread it.
Trust me, I went this morning. I'm like, okay, it came out of Serbia. You know what? I'm good with this. But if it is true, and it looks like it might be, then we've avoided something serious. He will miss some time, but it won't be like what we thought. So let's start there, because you're the one that hit up our thread first. Like, when you saw that, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I thought it was catastrophic, and we've always had these conversations about teams and their capabilities and how far they can go in the season and the postseason. And that conversation is always centered around the best players being healthy and being available. And when we start talking about a guy that goes out and have 55 and 16 and 15 point triple doubles, that's a major loss for any team, and especially Nikola Jokic and, what he's been able to bring to the table for the Denver Nuggets. We don't have to go on a rant about how valuable and important he is to the Denver Nuggets. So when I seen him go out, I thought, man, this is bad and this is not good news. For him personally, you always want to see guys be healthy and standing on their own 2 feet. But,
yeah, see, like I said earlier, right? When Murray go out or if Gordon go out, it just seems like the Joker, he just keep chugging along, right? And that's like the sign of like his greatness, like, because Murray and Gordon, they not scrubs, but still the Joker just keep chugging along. But they got to be able to these guys got to be able to, especially Murray gonna have to step up in the absence of the Joker, and at least keep them, closely in the running while he's out. That just goes to show like the Joker's importance to this team. I remember making another video earlier, some time ago, about how the Grizzlies had the same record without, what's the kid name, without Ja Morant than they do with Ja Morant. So when Ja Morant go out, the Grizzlies don't really miss a beat, right? And then when he come back, it's the same as if he's never lost, right? But the Joker, because he do so much for this team, is really not, his impact is greater on the Denver Nuggets. So what a lot of people just hoping is that, like I said, these guys can just keep it close, keep them in contention while the Joker is out, and don't rush him back. So by the time they get to the playoffs, he's just ready to roll, right? And so that right now is just a big goal. I think also it's just good news that he's not really seriously injured. He's gonna miss some time, but not as much as what they thought he would, right? So that's at
the same time, how it affects the basketball world and how it affects the organization and his teammates and the goals that they set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year. So coming out of Serbia, hopefully this isn't something, like you said, I'm sure we'll get some updates today and get some confirmations on what's actually going on. But, if he avoided major injury, that's really good news for him personally and for the basketball world and everybody that's fans of the Joker.
It's crazy how, like, you see that guy go down. It would affected me. And look, they're already without Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and Cam Johnson. This is a team that sort of had to deal with their injuries. It's a lot, and it's a lot to ask. And we've broken down the value he has to his team and what happens when he's not on the floor, much less going to miss multiple games. Let's just do that fun game that we all know and love, because they were in the middle of a road trip, right? I think it was the second game, and they're out. There's a pretty long one for them. Yeah, there you go. They're on the East Coast for a minute. Well, what are we thinking? That's just the next 10. We just
looking at this.
So look, with them, because the East is not as strong as the West, I think that's a that's a plus, that's a blessing in disguise, because they're gonna get some wins there in the East, because like I said, the East is not as strong. So this is not really all like gloom and doom for them. So they'll be able to, probably maintain pace. But the important part, like I said, is that this guy is just everything for them: rebounds, assists, and scoring. So yeah, man, it's good that they're playing against the East right now.
Schedule, it's favorable for them, right? If you would say that if you had Jokic in the lineup, this would be a favorable schedule for them. But now you don't really know. On top of that, like you just mentioned, Braun is out of the lineup. Aaron Gordon is out of the lineup. Cam Johnson is out of the lineup. These are some major pieces. And now you have your MVP and you have your very best player out of the lineup.
But look at, like, I think they are number 3. Like, the Denver Nuggets are number 3 in the West without Gordon, Cam. Murray was out, and they're still number 3. If these guys, once all these guys get back, man, and the Denver Nuggets is healthy, this is This is crazy. This gonna be crazy in the playoffs. So I hope everybody come back around the same time, or right before the playoffs and stuff like that. This is gonna be crazy.
Man, it just puts you in a peculiar situation. So, Jamal Murray is going to have to be the guy that step up and be that. They're going to have to find some scoring somewhere. Defensively, I think this is a team that still has guys that can compete on the defensive end, but they're going to have to be able to score the basketball. This is not old school ball where you can hold teams to 80 and 90 points and try to win a basketball game. You got to go put 110, 115, 120 on the board to give yourself an opportunity. That's something they've been accustomed to doing. Like last night, they scored 127 points, and that wasn't enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they're going to have to find a new identity until he gets.
See, when you score all those points and you still don't win, I still don't think defense, when the guy Cam, what's his name? When I forgot. Cam is there. When he's there, they're a better defensive team. When Gordon is there, they're a better defensive team. And they're not scoring. They won't be needing to score like 127 points to win when all those guys there. So that's why I say, they're going to need those guys for defense. And then the Joker is going to be back, so it's they have some decent defenders, but they really gonna be deep when they get like their whole cast of guys back, and then they can play some better defense. They'll be able to match up with OKC with their full roster. They'll be able to match up with the Spurs and anybody in the West, basically, when they have everybody back and healthy, man. And then the Joker be back. So I'm just looking forward to all these guys coming back and going on a run. That's going to make everything more exciting. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.